Hey everybody, welcome to Wake Up Missoula. I'm your host, Scott Ramp.
And I'm also your host, Noelle McFoy, and that was Asaph Adonai on piano. Asaph, what song was that?
That's the theme to the Titanic, and his piano is acting really goofy at the moment.
Probably they were messing with it the other day. But I really doubt people were really messing with it yesterday because I purposely took out the plug-in from the
No, what
piano.
I mean is the pedal's not working.
Oh, it doesn't seem to be resonating.
No, sorry about that.
It's okay.
It happens.
It's a public piano.
It is. It's a public piano.
And you guys can come down and play it too.
Asaph is
As long as you
Asaph is used to playing nice pianos, not public pianos.
Yep. Just be sure if you're going to play that piano here at MCAT, you put it back to the way Asaph wants it.
Yes. And you have to call Asaph and make sure it's okay if you play it.
Hey,
Yeah,
Asaph, is this okay? He puts the phone over the the piano. He's like, does this sound okay? He's like, could you do this? And
Yeah, no, that's wrong note.
But of course, the weather has been interesting the last couple days, especially today. It can't decide whether or not it's going to freeze or be wet.
Rain. Yeah, it's super warm outside and everything is melting and it's gonna get slick, so just be careful.
Yep.
But what can we expect?
Well, currently it is 31 degrees outside, and of course you have a freezing rain advisory warning. So there's some parts when I was walking down the street, I kind of slipped a little bit, but also there's some where there's puddles, it's safer. But of course you can expect a 90% chance of snow today, but of course it's already raining, so that rain might turn into snow if it's not already freezing. But of course it is fairly warm because when I stepped out of my apartment, everything was melted and melting. It was pretty nice. And then of course tonight you can expect a low of 21 degrees and it's gonna be partly cloudy. And then tomorrow you can expect snow happening throughout every single night, but of course you're gonna have slight snow during the day.
So be careful, everyone, because it's gonna get slick out there this evening and later today.
Yep.
So drive safely.
But of course, if you have any events, upcoming concerts, or causes that you want to talk about, you're more than welcome to get in contact with us via our website, wakeupmissoula.wix.com/wakeupmissoula. So nice, we made you write it out twice. But if you don't want to go to our website, you can also like us on Facebook and message us there. You could follow us on Twitter. I'll tweet you back.
You can like Missoula Community Access Television on Twitter at MCAT-TV Missoula. You can like us on Facebook as well. And to find out more information about us, just go to mcat.org.
Or you can email us, mcat@mcat.org, and you can call us at our amazing number, 542-6228, otherwise known as 542.
MCAT!
But without further ado, we do have some new programs I do want to talk about just a little bit. We have today's programs, and today and tomorrow's programs, but of course we do have a program from Channel 190.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
That's our civic channel. So usually all the things that go into Channel 190 is like school board and city council and all the government knowledgeable things.
Yep. So let's start off with a little bit of civic channel, and this is I guess the director of developmental services, and he's talking at City Club.
So we know that there's going to be the need for about 9,000 residential units over the next 20 years, and doing the math, that's about 450 units a year. So keep that in mind, because I'm going to come back to that later in the presentation. For a number of years now, the city's had a focus inwards policy. That talks about developing in the urban core, talks about doing...
All right, so they're going to be talking a little bit about that.
That should be that'll be an interesting lecture to find out how Missoula is going to grow and what we have to do to help it.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Of course, they did the Our Missoula policy. If you're interested in taking part of it's called Our Missoula. That's the tagline. That's the sexy term that you have to go to. You go to ourmissoula.org. You can find out all the information and what the plan is in terms of basically developing the inwards growth policy that is Missoula. Mm-hmm. And I guess probably the number one thing for me would probably be the mercantile.
Yeah.
That's priorities, people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
and then go down to maybe a couple of the buildings, maybe less banks.
Yeah, less banks, for real. Why do we need so many banks?
Oh, the Stockman Bank is going to be built. They just had it, I wanted to talk about it because they had it last week at Admin and Finance. I watched a little bit about it, but they're going to be building that Stockman Bank right behind KECI, that general area, because they basically tore down everything there. But they, the way they tore it down is they used, like, I think it's like e-cycling. It's where they collected all this stuff, and they basically just kind of like recycled a lot of the like bricks and other building material that can be reused, which is great. I mean, it took a little longer, but it was totally worth it because it looks really great. It's like now it's like ready to be built. But of course, it might take a while to be built because they're going to build a nice bank, and it's also going to have its own little parking garage.
When is
well.
Construction set to start?
I'm not entirely sure about that, but
they
probably are constructing. Like they're probably just tearing down during the winter, all this stuff. Most likely, all construction in Missoula starts in the spring to early summer.
It really does. Yeah.
In the winter, everything just kind of shuts down, and maybe they'll continue the work on 3rd Street.
Yeah. Who knows?
They find a new project on 3rd Street to congest the traffic for another couple months.
Flow everyone else around. Traffic in Missoula is ridiculous.
Yeah. There's always a couple streets that'll be closed and whatnot. I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to take for Russell to be
When are
built.
they supposed to start that?
I have no idea.
That is just going to like mess up all of town.
Well, at least they're going to, like, a lot of ways, they're actually going to do the bridge because they already have a plan on how they're going to do the bridge. They already have the meetings, a Burn Street Bistro, all that stuff.
They should do the bridge first.
That's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Is they're going to replace the bridge, and then they're going to try to double wide the street. But it's going to be hard because you have all that residential area.
Yeah.
And
they're going to have to encroach on people's lands.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But of course, that might be they might use like eminent domain, like right away type of thing for traffic and whatnot.
Yeah. Well,
because that road's usually congested.
It is, and there aren't really too many residential areas along that road. There's like a little section, but that's about
That's
it.
Tower Street. Tower Street is the most residential area.
Yeah.
That's like the gateway to the residential area.
Mm-hmm.
If they could make like an easier way for people to get in and out of that area, besides like going all the way up to 3rd Street and going around that way.
Yeah.
Then great. But who knows? It's all. If they could even just make a roundabout. I know. Other people are kind of like.
Let's just make a roundabout
everywhere.
and then put a pavilion in there.
We just. Put a roundabout with a pavilion in the middle of it. Yeah, I'm totally
Scott
down
loves
for that.
pavilions.
I love pavilions.
If
you want to know where you can find me anywhere, just go to the pavilion.
Pavilion.
You know exactly what I mean.
And pavilion is a great word for anything. Like, he's just on the pavilion.
Yeah, I just ate a wicked pavilion the other day, and I just I went number pavilion.
Oh man.
In the bathroom.
Have you seen Pavilion around here? He owes me $5.
Yeah. Have you seen the new movie Pavilion?
It's great.
Starring the
Mr. Pavilion.
Woody Pavilion.
Woody Pavilion.
You know the guy who did Annie Hall Pavilion.
Oh yeah, I love Annie Hall Pavilion.
Yeah, but of course we do have we do have a new program on tonight as well. Of course, there is no city council tonight, so I won't have any city council for the week.
That's
God
all right. Yeah, calm down, everyone.
So they won't be building any new pavilions for you guys.
Or not letting you bounce on bounce houses.
Yep. Yeah, we'll talk more about that as it evolves, or they'll just forget about it.
Or like our homeless ordinance where you couldn't sit down in front of a business within 10 feet. That's
I don't know. Maybe it's better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission sometimes.
Yes, it is.
All right. So, anyways, here is the brand new programs. These are featuring the fall holiday concerts at Big Sky High School Choir, and then of course Sentinel Orchestra, and following that with a little bit of education conference, which is wrapping up. It's the 21st Education Conference from the University of Montana.
Ooh, awesome.
And they're wrapping it up. It's the last one, and that's happening on Tuesday. But without further ado, here's this, and when we come back, we'll have Noelle with events.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive the King. Let every heart prepare Him room, and heaven and nature sing. Heaven and nature sing. Heaven and nature sing.
As Alan said, we were struggling with the data we had to be able to analyze it correctly over our whole programs. And I do think the next time we do it, and I agree, we should not act without measurement, but let's not do it too soon. The next time we do this, it would be awesome to include some data like that.
All right, everyone. Hello. We are back. and we are hopping into our events that'll get you started for your week. So, let's see.
Oh, we didn't do the snow report.
Oh yeah, I've got the snow report. I'll do that first. I'll do the snow report first. Okay, so before events, we're doing the snow report. So for your local ski hills, up at Whitefish, they just got 5 inches of new snow within the 24 hours and 11 inches of new snow within the 72 hours. Their lower base depth is 38 inches and their upper is 78 inches. Let's see. Over at Blacktail Mountain Ski Area, they just got 4 inches of new snow in the past 24 hours and 8 inches in the past 72 hours. Their lower base depth is 32 inches and then their upper is 63 inches. And then over at Lost Trail, they got 0 inches of new snow in the past 24 hours, but they did get 4 inches of new snow in the past 72 hours. So they still got some fresh stuff. 55 inches on the base, 60 inches up top. Over at Discovery area, they've got 0 new snow in the past 24 hours, but 4 inches new snow in the past 72 hours, 38 inches on the bottom and 58 inches up top. And then our last one is Montana Snow Bowl. And that was also 0 inches of new snow in the past 24 hours, but 4 inches in the past 72 hours. 25 inches on the bottom and 52 inches up top. So that's what's going on in your area, your snow ski area hills. Yeah, they all got a bunch of new snow. So that sounds great. That's what I always say. If it's raining for us, it's snowing for them. So that's always great. Yeah. But we've got some events starting to get you started off on your Monday and for your week. This morning, starting at 9 a.m., it is Martin Luther King Day, everyone. So happy Martin Luther King Day. Mm-hmm. And over at Taste Buds Kitchen, they are having a Martin Luther King Day special cooking camp.
Cooking at last. Cooking at last.
Cooking at last. For ages 4 to 8, they will be making, they're going to be doing a bunch of dough things. It's called All You Need Is Love, and it's like K-N-E-A-D, like need.
That's really
play on words.
Dope.
Oh man, you can always expect us to be clever and witty at Wake Up Missoula.
About 10% of the time.
Yeah. Over at Missoula Gymnastics, starting at 9:30, they've got Family Fun Time. This is for ages walking to 12 years. It is an open gym, and it's $7 for members and $10 for non-members. And so the Confident Stitch is a new fabric store that just opened. And I don't know if you guys remember the Selvage Edge. The Selvage Edge was on the hip strip, and that closed quite a while ago. And so now the Confident Stitch is open, and it's not, it's kind of like a off the beaten path fabric store. It's not like Joann's, it's not like Michael's, it's not a corporation. So they just opened. They are on, I do believe, they're either on Main Street or Front Street, or maybe the hip strip. They might be on the hip strip too. They're around somewhere downtown. But today at 10 a.m. they're doing a Stitch for a Cause, and they're making baby bibs to donate to the YWCA Women's and Children's Shelter. No registration is necessary. You can drop in anytime between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Over at the Roots Acro Sports Center, they have preschool playgroup at 11 a.m. This is for ages walking to 5 years, and you pretty much just, parents and children get to drop in, and they set up different activities and stations around the gym, and then they get to choose and rotate what they want to do. It's $8 a drop in, $12 for siblings. Moscow Mondays over at the Montgomery Distillery at noon. This is where they redistribute the wealth. $1 from each cocktail sold goes to a different nonprofit in the Missoula, Montana area from 12 to 8. Bridge group is at the Senior Center at 1 p.m. And that's the beginner's brush up group. But if you're already kind of a novice and know what you're doing, you can head over to Garden City Duplicate Bridge Club and play duplicate bridge. It starts at 1 p.m. They have open games 4 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 1 to 4:30, and Tuesdays, and 4 days a week. That's great. But today it starts at 1. And then over at Taste Buds Kitchen, they've got an older cooking camp for the All You Need Is Love cooking camp. This is the ages 9 to 13, and it starts at 1. And then at the Top Hat Lounge, they've got Raising the Dead, the live recorded shows of the Grateful Dead. This is from 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s of Grateful Dead music. This is during their happy hour. They have trivia, they have drink specials, lots of fun things related to the Grateful Dead. And then there is a Martin Luther King Jr. Day community celebration that is going to start at Caris Park and end at St. Paul Lutheran Church. It's going to start at 5 p.m. So there will be a youth rally at Caris Park at 5, followed by a March for Justice to St. Paul Lutheran Church, which is at 202 Brook Street, for the community celebration. And so the celebration starts at 6. There's going to be music by Andre Floyd and guests, a keynote by Denise Juno, and there will be an award ceremony for winners of the Missoula, the MLK Youth Art and Essay Contest.
This is Denise Juno's last year.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, that's not it. That's not Scott. What's...
Yeah. Well, she's the superintendent, like not superintendent of Missoula schools, but she's like the head school lady of
everywhere.
of Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have term limits, so she'll only be here for another 10 months or so.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Well,
But she's gonna try to take out. I don't know if it's. She's gonna try to be. What's that? State representative.
Oh, cool.
Yep. She's gonna
That'd be
try to
good.
get that.
Yeah. Why not? Might as well.
No.
All right, I got a couple more events for Monday. So we've got Service Industry Night at Plonk at 6 p.m. If you work in the service industry, you can ask them for an exclusive menu and get some special deals on appetizers and drinks. And then my last event for Monday is there's Blues Monday at the Badlander at 9. But now we're going to switch gears and we are going to go over to Asaph's segment.
You know, I talked about this show as far as I mentioned the show once before, but I wasn't talking about the show. I was talking about the creator of the show, who was Irwin Allen. And I remember mentioning that he wrote shows like Time Tunnel, Lost in Space, Towering Inferno, Earthquake, and of course the show we're going to talk about today, Land of the Giants. But this time we're talking about the show instead of the creator. This show had a staggering budget of $250,000 an episode at the time. So that was unheard of. That was unprecedented in the mid-60s when they created this show. Basically, the synopsis of the show, Land of the Giants is an hour-long American science fiction television program, but it only lasted 2 seasons, beginning September 1968 and ending in March 1970. And as I mentioned, it was created by Irwin Allen. And the synopsis of the show, on a flight from a flight to Los Angeles to London, they shot themselves in space. You know how they would go into space and come back to the Earth and get there very quickly. And when they were in space, they wound up going through this cloud that sucked them in, and then they wound up into this world of giants. So let's show the theme song. We can at least, I couldn't show the clip, but we can show the theme song to it. Can you imagine being captured by a giant that big? So, you know, to the little Earth people, anything was large to them, even insects, cats, dogs. And I was going to show a clip of a cat. This is about the closest to a cat. But there's a clip of, to give you an idea, how they were trapped on that land, on that planet there. And it was just a fun series. And all the movie stars of the past, like Vic Morrow, William Shatner, whoever, just all those people appeared on this show. Here's a scene where they were captured by the giants, and the giants was kind of like trying to dissect them a little bit, figure them out. Dude, that's not fun.
No.
But anyway, they get away from that giant, and here's one of the giants here when the giant captured the young lady. But at the end of this particular pilot, Commander Fitzhugh had a gun, so what they did, they shot the giant in the leg to stun him, because their little bullets are so small it won't hurt them. And that's how they were able to get away from that giant.
Nice.
These two actors here, these are this is the pilot. The one on the left is Captain Burton, and then Captain Erickson, and they're the pilots to the Spindrift. And it was just a fun series if you're into science fiction. So, and of course this is Betty and some of the other crew members there, and they're home just like Lost in Space, how they slept in the Jupiter too. Well, they slept in the Spindrift, so It was kind of similar, but they had the same creator, so you can
Cool.
do that.
How long did the show last for?
This only lasted 2 seasons from 1968 to 1970.
How many, does it say how many views it would get, like, per episode?
How many views?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about views, but there were 51 episodes that they made for the
Wow.
2 seasons at $250,000 per episode.
And so
Wow.
$250,000 is quite a bit back then for...
Well, yeah, the 60s, yeah. I mean, that's a lot of money.
40 years ago, and then now you have like a show like Rome. Like
Yeah.
it cost $1 million per episode. Can you imagine? So $1 million now.
Would be like that much back then.
I don't even know.
Probably are pretty
I mean,
close, yeah.
I don't know if like it's 4 times more now than it was then.
Yeah.
Because like you gotta understand, like sometimes the actors cost more than the set themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And John Williams, the guy that I talked about, he's the one that did the Close Encounters and all those. He did the music for this television series back then.
Oh, cool.
A very young John Williams.
Yeah.
And he composed
Wow.
that theme song that
Nice.
we just heard.
That's
So I'll
cool.
quit on that note right there.
Nice.
Land of the Giants, and your audience can look it up.
Thanks, Asaph.
Sure.
That was Musical Notes with Asaph Adonai. Now we've got some more events. This is everything that's going on Tuesday. So over at the Missoula International School, they're having an informational meeting. They're accepting applications for new students in preschool through 8th grade. And so so if you are interested in getting your kid in that, enrolling in that, it starts at 9 a.m. at the Missoula International School tomorrow. At the Lifelong Learning Center, they are having a design class. It's called In Design, which is a software program for designing, and they're going to be teaching you the basics. And it's pretty much just going to be like the InDesign interface, which includes tools and palettes, as well as how to create documents and master pages and style and graphics, everything like that. Yeah. And then over at the public library, they've got their open time in the makerspace, and this is going on all day long. This is from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow, and you can find out how to use their equipment, find out what things they have in their makerspace, and just hang out, work on a project. Yeah. And then Tiny Tales is also at the public library at 6:30 a.m. No, 10:30 a.m. Oh gosh. This is for babies birth through 36 months, 3 years. And they sing songs and learn nursery rhymes and finger plays and hear stories. Over at the Alps Boardroom, Shooting the Bull Toastmasters is going on. This is a lively Toastmasters club where you can improve your public speaking, gain confidence, and learn how to, talk to big crowds, which is always helpful. Over at the Missoula Food Bank, they're having a volunteer advocate information session at noon. It's pretty much just an information session on how to be a volunteer for the food bank. And then also at the public library, they're having a young adult volunteer orientation. Some more volunteers tomorrow. You can learn about ways to volunteer at the library and play some games to learn some new skills. There is Lego Club is at the Frenchtown Library at 4 p.m. From 4 to 6. And then over at the Learning Center at Red Willow, we have Yoga Warriors. This is a yoga class designed specifically for veterans and their caregivers and those that have PTSD to help with sleeping problems and anxiety. Over at Taste Buds Kitchen, starting at 4 p.m. tomorrow for ages 6 to 10, they're having a cheddar beet biscuits cooking workshop. They're pretty much cooking with the colors of the rainbow this week. So it's $20 to drop in, and they have lots of different classes throughout the week. Over at the Zootown Arts Community Center, they're having Zackersise. Starts at 6 p.m. This is usually every Tuesday, and it's not Ula, it's not Zumba, it's Zackersise. So try it out on a Tuesday evening. You can wear whatever you want to that makes you comfortable while exercising. And then over at the Kettle House, starting at 6 p.m. tomorrow, they're having their Beer College Bachelor's Program sign up. And I did Beer College last year, and it was really, really fun. You pretty much just go and sign up for a specific day, and then on the day that you choose, you get like a tour, and you get a tasting, and you get a free sweatshirt. You have to do some homework, but it's pretty fun. And you also get an award ceremony. Last year, there was 100 spots available, but this year there's only 80, and it starts at 6, so I would recommend getting there at 5 or 5:30 if you're really serious about it. When we went there last year, there were a bunch of people, and thankfully we're like one of the first ones. Yeah, but it's a really, really, really fun thing to do. And then at the Top Hat Lounge at 6 p.m. is a picking circle. This is for bluegrass-oriented musicians to come on down to the Top Hat and jam out. Lifelong Learning Center has Introduction to Touch Typing at 6 p.m. You can improve your typing skills and learn to type properly without looking at the keyboard. It's a 4-week course that'll teach you touch typing by using individual LED learning and free software. Yeah, they'll meet once a week and you practice lessons at home to reach your goals. That's awesome. Scott, can you type without looking?
No.
No?
No. It's pig typing, but it's very fast pig typing.
That's how mine is. I go like this, but I can still do it without looking.
Well, I in the last 5 years, I've utilized my thumb.
Oh, have you?
So I just kind of do this, and then
Yeah.
thumb is spacebar all the time.
Oh, yeah.
If you can keep your thumb in your spacebar, then everything else kind of starts. It really productivity goes way up. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I don't look, but I also just peck. But it works. It seems to work. I mean, whatever you gotta do.
But if you've been typing a good amount of time, you're able to type
Yeah,
fast
go
enough
fit.
where even if it's
Yeah, even if it's like that. I know. That's
it's like anything. It's all about practice. Like Noelle Asaph can tell you about piano. It's like you can't just be go out piano and be like, I'm an expert at piano.
No, you gotta work your way up to that.
Yeah. So, if you guys have problems typing, this would probably be a good class to check out. And then over at the Missoula Public Library at 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, they have a community creative writing workshop. This is just an open drop-in environment focusing on the creative process of writing. At the Lifelong Learning Center at 6 p.m., they have a Cooking for Your Canine class. During this class, they're going to bake healthy, low-calorie treats for your dog. And the second part of the class will offer information about pet nutrition, which is great. Missoula is such a community-oriented, dog place. Everyone's got a dog or two. Over at Imagination Brewing Company, they've got traditional Irish music with the Crashers and Friends at 6 p.m. System Check is at the Missoula Public Library at 6:30. This is the official gamers club for ages 19 and under, and they have all the games you could want: card games, video games, board games. Yeah. And then this next event is pretty cool, I think. This is called Bugs and Brews After Hours at the Insectarium. It starts at 6:30 tomorrow evening. And so they have an evening lecture series, and they talk about bugs, and then you drink beer. So this month is Alex Gaffey. It was Alex Gaffey, which is a graduate student at Montana State University. He's getting a PhD in ecology and environmental sciences, and he's going to be talking about his research on the northern tamarisk beetle, which is a biological control agent for the invasive weed salt cedar. Crazy. $5 includes 2 drink tickets and admission to the presentation. So that's super cheap and really interesting. Over at the Cattle House on the south side, the Missoula Freestyle team is raffling off some great ski items and other fantastic items, and then they also are they're kind of doing their own pint night over there. So proceeds of beer sales will go to Missoula Freestyle team over on the south side one. And then at the public library at 6:30, they've got gaming for grown-ups. This is where people older than 19 can come in and game out. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And another event at the Lifelong Learning Center, the Missoula Public Library and the Lifelong Learning Center seem to be having a lot of great events these next 2 days. There is Small Acreage Farming 101. So do you have a few acres or even just 1 acre and you want to learn how to farm on it? This is your chance to find out what you can do, like how you can utilize your land, what crops and animals work on small farms, and how to make it sustainable. So bring a notebook and a pencil. Starts at 6:30. And then our 2 music events is the Missoula Music Showcase at the Badlander at 9. This just showcases a different artist from around town. And then Black Alicious is at the Top Hat Lounge at 9. Yeah, which they're old school rap. They're a hip hop group that has been around for 20 years.
Oh,
Yeah. So they're coming to Missoula.
nice.
Yeah. So that's what's going on in your community. Check out MissoulaEvents.net. Check out the University of Montana website, The Independent, or your newspaper.
But check us out at wakeupmissoula.wix.com/wakeupmissoula. You can also like us on our Facebook page. Follow us on our Twitter page.
You can like Missoula Community Access Television on Twitter, as well as MCAT on Facebook.
Yep.
And to find out more information about us, just go to mcat.org.
Well, guys, it was a good Monday.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. You have the day off, don't you, from
I do.
school? Because it's Martin Luther King
I do,
Day.
but that does that means nothing. I've got a bunch of
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
to
you
do.
still got a lot
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
It's like the professor who gives you homework just before spring break. They always give you homework for spring break, and everyone always waits until the last minute.
Yeah, of course, I know.
Yeah. But no one's different. Everyone always waits the last minute.
I know, it's true. Yeah.
And it's like, why didn't you go out last night? It's like, well, I did my homework before I went at anything else
Yeah.
this weekend, so I could enjoy the weekend. It's like, that's
That's so smart. Why
that's
did
so
I do that?
Why don't I do that? Because he liked to party. He's like, oh yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's
oh,
right.
darn.
Because I have a life. Yeah. So without further ado, thanks guys for joining me on our Martin Luther King Day
Morning
Junior
show? Yes.
morning show. I hope you guys have a great day. If you guys are wanting to get involved with any Martin Luther King Day activities, go to Cares Park at 5. But if you miss it, if you can't be there at 5, go to St. Paul Lutheran Church
at 6.
which is across from the Missoula Public Library.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And for Wake Up Missoula, I'm Noelle McFoy.
And I'm Scott Ramp.
Here's Asaph Adonai.